What is up, Waffle Gang? My name is Mark, and welcome to r/am I the Butthole. If you want to skip that initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And yesterday we hit 99 members on our YouTube side of things, with Yoshi Boy and GLA Legit joined us yesterday. Thank you so much for your support. It really does mean the world, and it helps this channel out so much. Thank you. And a huge thank you for everyone for coming here every day, taking the time out of your days to be here. I can't express how much that really does mean to me. I know I do say it daily, but I am so thankful for it, so thank you again. And with that being said, let's get into today's stories. Much love, guys. And our first story comes from Gonna Take Out Trash. Am I the arsehole for kicking my friend out of the house even though she has nowhere else to go? My boyfriend, 30 male, and I, 28 female, moved into a fairly large house together last year. When all the COVID things started getting out of hand, we decided to open up our house to one of our friends, 30 female, and my boyfriend's cousin, 19 female. The friend who moved in with us, Kate, fake name, lost her job before the pandemic, and 2 months ago, with the end of lease, she couldn't afford a place to live. My boyfriend and I have a common friend group that we knew since the college days, around 7 years. Kate joined this group 2 years ago. When our friends informed us of her losing her house, we decided, hey, we have some free space, come stay with us for a while until you can find a permanent solution. We also covered the food expenses while she helped with the chores. She accepted and moved in within a few days. When she first moved in, she was acting friendly with me, but as time progressed, she started becoming colder and colder towards me, but was still friendly with my boyfriend. A month ago, she started acting weird. While we were watching Netflix, she started sitting in between my boyfriend and me, touching or hitting his arm lightly when she was laughing, touching my boyfriend's neck or hair, or saying good morning to his ear, or trying to massage him constantly. I didn't know what to do, especially because my boyfriend was not saying anything at the time, and I didn't want to be the crazy girlfriend. However, he sat me down last week or so ago and told me he was extremely uncomfortable by the way Kate was behaving. Let me tell you, I was so relieved that I was not the only one who was thinking she was acting strange. Lol. He said when I'm not around, her behaviour only increases, and he didn't know what to do because he was scared of telling me this, as he thought maybe he was overthinking it. We decided to speak to her if she did it again, and went to bed happy. 2 days ago, I drove to my parents' house to visit them and helped with their needs as they don't go out. I got a text 2 hours into my visit from my boyfriend asking me to come home urgently. When I returned, everyone in the house was yelling and I was very confused. When my boyfriend saw me, he said that he wanted to talk to Kate about what she was doing, making him uncomfortable, and apparently she didn't take this well, because she said she did this with everyone, and when I took my boyfriend's side, more yelling and calling names happened. We told her to get her things and get out. I thought our friends would take our side when we told them about this, but now the whole group is divided. Most of them say yes, she was wrong if she was making us uncomfortable, but she is just a touchy person, and we were assholes for kicking her out in a pandemic when she had nowhere else to go. I trust my boyfriend very much, as he has been nothing but an honest partner for the past 5 years. He said he decided to talk to her because she kept caressing his arm and touching his thigh, and he hated it. So I wanted to ask, am I the arsehole for kicking her out? Now let's start off with that she is like this with everyone excuse. That doesn't work with me. You're not entitled to touch anyone, male or female. If they don't want it, you don't touch them. Sure, your boyfriend should have maybe, set up his boundaries earlier and told her, like, don't touch me, I'm not comfortable with that. But I can also understand what a strange dynamic that would be when you've asked someone to move in and maybe your boyfriend's not the confrontational type. There was no consent there. He never said once, you're allowed to touch me. And there's never an excuse for just touching someone. That whole excuse of she's like this with everyone is absolutely bullshit. You had every right to kick them out. And sitting between you during movies, it was just getting weirder and weirder, the whole way. It was getting very suspicious very early on. So yeah, I can't say you're the arsehole in this situation. Let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Used Competition says not the arsehole. If it was a male friend touching your inner thighs and giving you unwanted massages, people would be disgusted. Why is there double standards for men? And OP replies 100% agree with this. If a guy friend was doing this to me, I would definitely raise hell, but my boyfriend was even scared of telling me in case he was not taken seriously. I felt so apologetic towards him for making him feel that way, so I'm baking for him and his cousin today. Midwest Page Turner says, and quotes, "She is sensitive, is code 4. She rocks the boat and everyone else needs to work extra hard to steady it. Don't steady the boat. If they think you are jerks, tell them they can take her in. You deserve to not feel uncomfortable in your own home. Beyond that, a core tenet of consent is that the behaviour is unwelcome. When told explicitly, the offender needs to back the fuck off, not claim they did nothing wrong. That is how nice guys behave, and apparently Kate does too." And OP replies once again saying, "We had a huge argument with the friends over this. They thought as long as she apologised, which she didn't because she didn't think she did anything wrong, we shouldn't have kicked her out. We talked to them before she moved in, whether someone else can take her in, but they all had valid and personal reasons on why they couldn't. As far as I know, no one offered so far either." Now, I turn this story to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? How do you think OP should have handled it? Do you think they handled it well, or do you think there was a better way to do it? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for basically calling my in-laws' lifestyle pathetic after they tried shoving it down my throat? Thankfully, my husband and I have lived out of state for most of our 14 years together, so we haven't had to deal with ignorance from his family on how we live and or raise our kids. However, my father-in-law fell ill, so we moved back to the States to care for him, as my mother-in-law is far too old and weak to do it herself, and her daughters who live in the state couldn't be bothered. We have lived right beside them for going on 10 months now. We have 9 male and 6 female children, both very intelligent, respectful, and insanely empathetic. We raised our kids in a way that was completely against how we were raised, which was basically to sit down, shut up, and never question a damn thing. My husband and I both had very toxic childhoods, and were silenced when it came to everything. Ever since living beside his parents, they have attempted to inflict this onto my children. Now, it started off small, like my father-in-law telling my 9-year-old that it was his duty as the man of the house to pick up an axe/chainsaw to cut house firewood. Mind you, we do not have a wood stove, so my father-in-law just expects my small child to run outside with a chainsaw and hack up firewood for his house. When I said no, my father-in-law flipped out on my husband and said I was weakening my son and stripping him of his manly, expected duties. Or my mother-in-law telling my 6-year-old that she is old enough to prepare and cook meals for the family. I only found this out a couple of weeks ago when I got home from work and found a burn on my daughter's forearm from apparently a hot pan she was attempting to take out the oven. Not only did she burn herself, but she got the 5th degree from my mother-in-law, stating her food was bland and that she needed to be better if you ever expected to get married someday. Anyways, I went to discuss these matters with my mother-in-law and father-in-law because I had it, and they weren't listening to my husband. When I arrived, they were cross with me and said they were concerned that my kids were going to grow up to be entitled snowflakes, and that I am raising them in such a way that they would never know how to fend for themselves or understand life. I told them that they needed to stop inflicting 50 livelihood onto my children, and that under no circumstances will my children be restrained to a toxic lifestyle that people whom they barely know are trying to enforce. They told me to leave. I said gladly. Now my sister-in-laws all of a sudden give a damn and have messaged my husband stating that his life has been tarnished by me and that I am destroying what his parents taught him. Independence apparently, and the ability to live without need. Am I the arsehole? Boy going out to chop firewood, girl in the kitchen cooking food. Jesus Christ. Yes, you're absolutely right to break this chain of absolute shitness. And what is with the mother-in-law saying, get this 6-year-old to take a pan out of the oven? I'm not sure if that's normal, is it? Gee, a 6-year-old, they're tiny. Oh my word. And then burnt herself and then called her food bland. Oh my word. Picture the freaking 9-year-old just stood there with a chainsaw like, yeah. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Jesus. Oh my word. Let's just go straight to the comments on this one to see what they say. I am the Dark Agent says, fuck them and the horse the SIL pretends to ride on. Move back to where you were and let them fend for themselves. If this is bad and you stay, you'll be the arsehole for inflicting this upon your kids. The in-laws aren't going to magically change overnight. Red says not the arsehole. Sisters are only saying that because they don't want to get stuck with the parents. Bobinski Circus says not the arsehole. Move back to where you came from. These people gave your single-digit age children a chainsaw and a bad burn from working with dangerous tools, and then insulted them psychologically. Cut them off and let them fend for themselves. Before you go, let them know that their style of parenting is what made their children hate them, and your children will grow up to be what they want to be instead of slaves to gender roles and expectations of toughness and service. God damn. Pigeon Herd says, not the arsehole, but I think the priority is talking to your kids about how grandma and grandpa are confused and not to listen to them when they say something your kids have never heard before. If they ask you to do something that sounds strange, come get a parent, even if they're being mean about it. And if they ever hit you, run away from them and tell a parent immediately. Now, what would you do in this situation if one of your parents were acting that way and they were like trying to inflict these sort of 50s rules onto your children? How would you deal with it? Let me know what you would do in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. And our next story comes from Xildine. I hope I got that name right. Am I the arsehole for refusing to write a song for my unborn child despite writing one for my daughter? 11 years ago, I had a daughter. Me and my wife wrote her a song/rhyme, and it's something very special to us. My wife passed away during childbirth, and so the song is something me and my daughter used to feel a lot closer to her. 3 years ago, I met a woman who I'm now engaged to. She's a wonderful woman, and 7 months ago we decided to try for a baby, after discussing it with my daughter. She's now 5 months pregnant, and we are having twins. She initially asked about a song for them. She's heard me sing my daughter's song a lot, and I told her that I wouldn't because it was mine and my daughter's thing, to be connected to her mother. She understood, but her family is still extremely upset about it. They were originally the ones who told my wife to ask about a song, and have not stopped badgering me about it, continually telling me I'll have my twins growing up thinking they're unloved, and that I love my daughter more than them, and that it's clear who my favourite child is. I think they're overreacting and don't think it will be that big of a thing. Plus, I wasn't even the one who wrote most of the song, I just sing it. My fiancé is also concerned and asked me not to sing the song where the twins would hear, which I understand, but she doesn't want me to sing it if they're in the house at all, which I don't think is fair to my daughter. I don't think I'm the arsehole. My fiancé thinks she's being fair, her family think I'm evil and they're in the right. So Reddit, who's in the wrong in this situation? I think this is going to be a very rare one where no one's an actual arsehole here. Maybe the family ever so slightly, the way they're sort of badgering you and pestering you about it. But I can see sort of all sides really. I can see that you have this close connection and you want this song to be just for you and your daughter, and you don't want to just water it down by making songs for everyone, you know. And I totally get that. And I also get your wife's concern that these twins are going to grow up and they're going to see you singing this song and they're going to be, you know, jealous. Rightly so, I think. Even if you explain it to them, you still have this little thing that you do with just your daughter, and you have nothing special with them. So maybe an idea is that you do something else for the twins. Not a song, but something completely different. And I just flicked through the comments below as well, and I just noticed that someone else mentioning something very similar about a book. So, and we'll go straight to the comments from this point. Timber Mountaineer says, no one's an arsehole here. If your fiancé liked the song you wrote for your daughter, it's fine for her to want another one for your upcoming twins. If you view the song as a special connection you had with your late wife and daughter, it's fine to not want to write another one that can potentially dilute the meaning of the original song. 5 says, no one's an arsehole here except the in-laws who should mind their own business. Your fiancé has a point. It will send a very specific message to the kids and make them feel like they're being excluded. Your comment about my daughter would rather have a mum than a song is misplaced. This isn't a competition. It's also weird your daughter had any input on you having more kids. But I don't think it necessarily makes you the arsehole either. I understand your reservations, but if you cannot bring yourself to ever write a song for your other kids, I don't think your fiancé is misguided in asking you not to sing the song around your other children. And the Curious Cat says, no one's an arsehole here. I think it's okay to have a song to be a special thing between you and your daughter, but you should find something different and special to have with each of your twins. It's okay to treat children differently. It's just not okay to treat them unequally. If you're unwilling to come up with any special equivalent to have with your new children, I think you're leaning into arsehole territory. And Goth Spite says, soft, no one's the arsehole here. Your twins don't need a song. That's something you and your late wife did for your daughter together. I would, however, do something for them, just something different. Your late wife did the song. What is your fiancé good at? Maybe you can make a picture book for bedtime together, or puppets to put on a story. Do something together with her, for them, to show you're not playing favourites. But she has to recognise your daughter is different and always will be. Now, what would you do if you was put in this situation and you didn't have your partner around anymore and you made this one thing together with the children you had with that partner? And then you had new children, would you make something for them or would you not? Do you think it really matters? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling my fiance I don't want his daughter to live with me? I, female 33, been with my fiance, male 36 for 2 years, and we're getting married in 2021. He's a single dad and he has an 11-year-old daughter who doesn't like me, or despite how much I try to get close to her. She keeps telling me that she wishes her dad never met me. She calls me names such as homewrecker, and it really hurts. She hid my phone many times and deleted important contacts. She'd call people I have a professional and respectful relationship with and badmouth me to them. I had enough when she took my check that I wanted to take to the bank and threw it away and told me she did it to my face. Her dad said she's just a kid and having difficulty adapting, but completely ignored that I've been getting hurt because of her. I told him I couldn't take it anymore and will not have her do these things after we get married. I told him I don't want to live in the same house, and he got mad and said that I was being unreasonable and that I should give her time and try to understand why she treats me like that. I just don't think I can take any more of this mistreatment and lack of respect. I should mention 1. I met my fiancée a year after the divorce. 2. I treat her well, but I will never try to take her mum's place, which is something she'd mention a lot. 3. Her mum doesn't even try to hide how much she dislikes me, and I think her daughter is following her lead. 4. My fiancée doesn't try to even talk about what she did and say she had changed her behaviour with time. Well, it does sound like in this story that the fiancé isn't doing much to help OP with this behaviour, like not backing her up or anything like that, which, you know, is totally, it's just not fair. So I can see why OP is feeling hurt and sort of not backed up and getting fed up with this shit. But then you can't expect him to what? Just get rid of his child when you get married. What do you expect him to do? Just dump his daughter off? You think that is a good choice to make? His daughter was there before you, he has custody of that daughter for a reason, and you want him to just ship her off somewhere. I just don't understand the logic. This is an 11-year-old that's had her life turned upside down because of her parents. I don't know what she was like beforehand. She might have been fine, she might have been a little turd before that as well. But, you know, having this happen at the age of 11, when there's already a lot going on, probably in her mind as she's growing up, you know, it doesn't help matters, and you can totally see why she would be affected in this way and why she would start lashing out. And I know it's no excuse, but for her, you're an easy target. You're a newcomer to the household. But I'm going to go with, and everyone sucks here, because clearly it's just, as a couple that's getting married, you're not talking to each other. And that's just not going to help the situation. You're going to be married, you're going to be a partnership, and, you know, you need to overcome these things. Not just throw the kid out, apparently. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Roaming Amber says, everyone sucks here, time for you and your fiancé to get on the same page. This is not a situation you put on the back burner until after the wedding. You're marrying a package deal. You don't get your fiancé without his child, period, end of story. What the daughter is doing is awful and hurtful, I get it, but if you can't sort out a plan of attack with your soon-to-be husband, don't marry yet. Banning this kid from your house isn't helping anyone. As for him, what is he doing to help his daughter to help cope? Therapy? Better or different routines at home? School evaluation? Time to get on it, Dad. Alert Potato says, everyone sucks here. Your fiancé sucks because he's not doing shit to parent his kid and make it clear her behaviour isn't okay, and instead he's excusing it. You suck because you have no business marrying a single parent if you aren't on board with being a step-parent. And based on the child's accusations and the fact that you don't bother to preemptively defend yourself, I'm going to assume the accusation has merit. If you fuck the married man, that child will hate you forever. And honestly, I don't blame her. Being a child of divorce is hard. Katrina Von Diesel says, everyone sucks here. He sucks for not instilling appropriate behaviours in his daughter, and you suck for suggesting a child should find someplace else to live. She may or not suck depending on why she can't stand you, but your story is so cringe I'd rather not hear more details. Sunny Sailor says, you're the arsehole, you can't pick and choose. Your fiancé has a daughter, you don't want her in your life, don't marry him. And Good Crisp says, unfortunately, your fiancé is a single father, which means that you are marrying him and his daughter. If you want him to be in your life, then his daughter comes as part of the package. You will either have to keep trying with the 11-year-old girl or give it up as a bad job and find somebody else who is childless. And Katia Faye says, everyone sucks here. I 100% understand your frustration, but she comes with your fiancé whether you like it or not. If you can't handle her anymore and your fiancé won't do anything about her, then you might want to consider not marrying him. Making such an ultimatum is an arsehole move. That said, if you insist on marrying him, the daughter needs therapy, and maybe you should try bringing that up with your fiancé. Maybe try individual therapy first. just her and her therapist, to iron out her issues, and then transition into the family therapy where you can be present and try to make amends / get on the same page. It's really sad how divorces can affect children, and this is one of those examples. My nephews also took their parents' divorce hard, and right now will not talk to their dad willingly. He was indeed the arsehole, by the way. Their grades started suffering and they act out when they go stay with their dad. It's the only way they know how to express their feelings in their inexperience with dealing with emotions. I feel like this is the same issue with your stepdaughter-to-be is having. What do you guys think of the story? What would you do during this situation? How would you deal with it? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. Now, as I always say, thank you so much for everything you're doing, guys, for being here today, for, you know, getting involved, liking the video, sharing it, and it's just absolutely amazing. And also the fan art and stuff you've been sending me to is so uplifting to see. It's just my mood just skyrockets. It's incredible. And as I said before, the best part is when I hear like how it's changing things for you. And I know it's only small things, like if I lift your mood a bit during the day and you've been feeling a bit down, that is just makes the whole video worth it. If I change one person's mood during the day, man, I am buzzing from that. So thank you for that too. Anyway, I'm waffling on. I said... No pun intended, honestly. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for being here today. I hope you've had a great day. And yeah, I'll just see you soon. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye.